The Mandalorian Grogu is not a story about destiny, it's a story about staying in a galaxy obsessed with empires, prophecies, and chosen ones. This story quietly asks a question: what if the most important thing you can do is refuse to walk away? This is not about saving the galaxy, it's about protecting one life in a universe that treats lives as expendable. From the very beginning, this journey feels restrained. Not because the stakes are small, but because the focus is narrow, and that focus is unintentional. Din Djarin is not a leader. He's a symbol. He does not want to be remembered. He just wants the child to survive. That alone makes this story powerful. Because in Star Wars, survival is rarely the goal. Legacy is. But The Mandalorian and Grogu challenges that idea. It struggles that legacy is not what you leave behind, it's what you protected while you are still here. One of the most interesting things about this film is how it treats strength. Strength is not loud, it is not flashy, and it does not always win. Sometimes strength is knowing when not to draw your weapon. Sometimes it's choosing patience over pride, and sometimes it's accepting that fear is part of responsibility. Personally, I think this film works best when it frames Din not as a warrior, but as a parent learning under pressure. Because parenting in this universe does not come from safety nets. Every mistake has consequences, every choice carries risk. Grogu is not just a companion, he's a mirror. A mirror that reflects Dean's value, his hesitation, and his growth. And here's a powerful what if at the heart of the story. What if Grogu does not need to become anything greater than what he already is? What if the galaxy does not need another legend, just someone raised with care? That idea quietly dismantles the obsession with power that defines so much of this universe. As the story progresses, the real tension is not external threats, it's inheritance. What does Grogu inherit from Din? A creed, a weapon, or a way of choosing mercy in a world that punishes it? This film understands something crucial. Violence is easy to teach, retrain is not. And restraint is expensive. There are moments where walking away feels like a failure, where protection feels like cowardice, where survival feels selfish. But this film reframes those ideas. It asks whether heroism has been misunderstood all along. Another uncomfortable what if emerged. What if the galaxy keeps failing into chaos because it glorifies sacrifice instead of stability? Din Djarin refuses to sacrifice Grogu for any larger cause. And that refusal is radical. Because every vampire, every rebellion demands children eventually. This story says no. The quiet brilliance of The Mandalorian and Grogu is how it treats time. There is no rush to destiny, no countdown to prophecy. Growth happens slowly, trust takes time, healing is not cinematic, and that patience is rare in a universe built on spectacle. Grogu presence forces the galaxy to slow down, to lower its weapons, to hesitate. And hesitation in Star Wars is dangerous. The film also explores loneliness in a subtle way. Din is not just isolated physically, he is isolated emotionally. His armor is not just protection, it's distance. Grogu breaks that distance without words, without demands, just by existing. And that's what makes their bond feel earned. There's also an important shift in how legacy is portrayed. Legacy here is not about bloodlines or ancient orders, it's about example. Grogu learns by watching, not speeches, not training, not behavior. How Din treats strangers, how he handles fear, how he chooses where there is no perfect option. That parenting at its most honest. The galaxy remains dangerous, violence remains unavoidable, but the difference is intention. Din fights when he must, not when he wants to, and that distinction matters. As the film moves forward, the threats feel less like villains and more like tests of conviction. How much are you willing to compromise to keep someone safe? How much of yourself are you willing to lose? Another what if lingers quietly. What if Grogu eventually outlives Din? That thought hangs over every decision. Because this is not a partnership of equals, it's temporary, and that makes every moment heavier. The film does not romanticize this bond. It understands that attachment invites pain, but it also suggests that avoiding pain leads to emptiness. In a galaxy obsessed with balance, this story chooses commitment. By the end, the Mandalorian and Grogu does not try to redefine Star Wars through spectacle. It does something riskier. It narrows the lens. It says the galaxy is not saved by grand gestures, but by small, repeated acts care performed even when no one is watching. And maybe that's the most subversive idea of all. Because in a universe full of legends, the most powerful choice might be refusing to become one. Just staying, protecting, and choosing love in a galaxy that keeps choosing war. Thanks for watching this video. If you like the explanation, please subscribe my channel and like the video.